Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every morning with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to, and my all-time favorite coffee mug, which of course is the logo to my channel, hence the t-shirt, Hold the Cream! With no Kahlua since, as we all know, I've not been drinking. Anyway, today is Sunday, January. Listen to me. The last video I did, I said February and corrected myself. June. It's June, for God's sakes. June 21st, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful daddies out there. Anyway, if you notice, it's a slightly different setup today. Still in my living room, but instead of being over there in front of my console with all of my perfume bottles, you are now looking at my massage table. So different angle of my living room, and that is today's topic: massage, the world of massage therapy. You all know I've been doing this for decades, and I've shot a few other videos about this topic. This is actually the fourth one. So I felt like I wanted to do this because since the pandemic, I've not been seeing clients. Now, I have not been seeing massage clients, I've not been hooking up, or, I am single, so sometimes a girl likes to hook up, but I've been doing none of that. And it's interesting because, apart from not doing massages, like most people, I've just pretty much been home. I've been into the city. I live in Sunnyside, Queens, so not far, but the subway, which is only a block away, I've taken the subway a total of 3 times since March. The last time was just about a week ago. And so that day was interesting. Hopefully you just saw the video before this one, and it was shot on that day. And that one was about facing the fear, because the fear of actually going out there and just even taking the train, with everything, with everything going on, and thinking, oh, am I going to get it? And am I not going to get it? The subway's clean, and I've been so staying away from people that, after a while, it's like, this is kind of getting to me, which I'm only human. So, of course, I think it would get to anyone. So that particular day, on the 12th, it was such a big deal for me to even do that because, I mentioned in that video how I have a very mathematical mind, and I always put so much importance on dates. I remember when I first started not going out there, which was early March, even though so much was unknown in my mind, I always said, well, come June 1st, that's when I will start going back out there. 3's my number. Maybe because I'm born March 3rd, and that's always been the one number that I gravitate towards. So I thought 3 months, and let's keep it nice and clean, so June 1st. So, of course, with all the protesting and, early on the rioting and the looting, that sort of made me say, did I say June 1st? I meant July 1st. So when I went into town that day, I had to, and run a couple of errands, etc. And it was such a big deal for me, and facing that fear. So that's why I did that video. And the other fear that I faced is actually giving massages, because I did renew my ad Monday of this past week. And so I've done a good handful of clients, 4 or 5. And it's interesting because I wasn't really sure how I felt about that. And in my mind, I thought, when I do ease into this, at the very least, I was hoping that the first week or 2, any clients that I had would be regulars. So, I had they had all contacted, a lot had contacted me right on June 1st, because, the few months that I was not conducting business, some of them were in touch with me and vice versa, and just making sure each other was fine. And so I had said to them, well, come June 1st, then I'll get back to doing that. So, of course, on June 1st, I got half a dozen phone calls. Can I come see you? And I was like, no, not yet. So it took me a minute to get to that level of comfort that I could even contemplate seeing anyone. So because that Friday, it was such a milestone for me. I mean, taking the subway and going into town and, doing the few errands that I did. I know it doesn't sound like much, but just to show you how vulnerable I can be, or I think people in general. So it was that Friday, and then it was the following Monday that I thought, you know what, let me renew my ad. So I did. I have a few ads. I just renewed the one that's most lucrative and, oddly enough, the least expensive of all that I pay for them. And I'm happy that the clients that I've had this week have all been regulars. And so in communicating with them, like when we were setting it up, I straight up said, look, I had the antibody test and it came back negative. I even took a screenshot and showed them. And in all of the cases, they all had been too, and were negative. And even some of them even went as far as taking a screenshot of their result. And then the next thing I would say is, how do you feel about us wearing a mask? And every single one of them was like, oh my God, that'd be great. So that was so comforting or refreshing, because, I was equipped to have any of them or all of them or some of them say, well, I'd really rather not. And I get it, because wearing a mask, wearing a glove and trying to give a massage, it's not as sexy or as erotic as if you weren't. But so I didn't wear the gloves, but in all of the cases I knew them and I was comfortable with them because they were regulars, and and we had already discussed that, and in all of the cases they wore the mask as well, so it was fine. But even when I did that first one, which was that Monday 6 days ago, whatever date that was, the 15th, I guess, that in itself too was such so getting over that hump. And then once I did that one, I was oh, thank God I got through it. And it was it took a big weight off my shoulder, or off my mind for that matter, because it's as time progresses, and even though phase 2 is starting tomorrow, it's still for me, I always said once the city starts reopening, I wanted to give it 2 weeks. So then I was almost this week, after that initial one, and then the next day I had another regular, and that one was a 90-minute one, and I was oh, what was I thinking? An hour's about what it should be, truthfully. But he really wanted it, and I hate to say no. I'm just a girl who can't say no. So I did it. But I'm here to tell you, when you're giving a massage, you're exerting energy, and you're, the whole transference of energy, and it's work. You're not just going like this. You're actually digging in. At least I do anyway. So doing that while wearing a mask, then suddenly you get overheated. And there were certain moments where I was ah, shit, I was almost starting to feel a little flushed, and they're face down for the whole thing anyway. So there were a couple of moments where I had to take the thing off one ear just to be let me breathe. And then I put it back. And so that 90-minute one was not as comfortable as, say, the other ones. The other thing also was that last week, the temperature-wise, it was in the 70s, low 80s, the humidity was low, so I didn't have the air conditioner on. And I realized, I had one today, Sunday, I had my 5th one yesterday, and I was I need to turn this air conditioner on, because I recognize that even though during the week the temperature was such that you didn't need it, when you're actually doing this kind of work, I kind of needed it. Excuse me, and this weekend you kind of need it anyway. I have it shut off now because I'm filming this video and the noise is obnoxious. So, but yeah, so this one also, it was I wasn't sure how I felt. And then I was almost especially when I had that second one, and because I was feeling a little overheated, it's interesting how when you're feeling just the slightest thing off, you're oh no, COVID, and I'm thinking, did this man maybe have it and now all of a sudden I'm feeling this way because I'm touching him? Which of course is like, kind of silly, but it's just interesting how the mind works, and then I was almost sort of like a little, not beating myself up or not angry, but because like phase 1 had just happened like the week before, and I always had this number of like 2 weeks. So really my intention was to renew my ads tomorrow, 22nd, but I ended up doing it a week earlier because since I was so proud of myself that I'd like got over that hump of jumping on the subway and like walking in the city and like being out there, that I kind of said, let me just go for it. But there was a little moment there where I was suddenly like, oh, was that such a wise thing? Because I went against what my initial thought was. But you know what? That's life. Sometimes, this mathematical mind that I have where I zoom in on a specific date and then I say, okay, I'm going to do this on this date, or, I give myself a deadline, as it were. But then suddenly, when you end up changing it on your own accord, then I don't know, then sometimes maybe you doubt yourself and you're like, should I have done that or should I have stuck to my initial thought? But anyway, so I'm here to report that yes, I am comfortable with it, and I'm glad that so far so good. Everyone's been great about, still wearing, being okay with wearing a mask. I don't know how long it's going to be before I get to a point where I will be okay not wearing a mask. It'll be interesting to like, start getting new clients and kind of like see how that all goes. How am I going to react to that? I mean, I think I'll be fine. At this point, I've done enough that I'm like, okay, I'm good with this. And frankly, I missed it. I'm still not like, hooking up for fun. So at least doing these massages, that human touch, that human connection is there for me. And, one of the clients one regular that I was with, he was like so appreciative because he like hasn't had a massage or hasn't been with anyone also in like 4 months. And even as I was massaging him, he was just going on like about, oh my God, this feels so wonderful. And he like kept thanking me. And I said to him, well, believe it or not, I actually get a lot out of this myself. So it was quite wonderful, the exchange of, he was so appreciative that I was doing it, and just the human touch felt so wonderful for him. And frankly, it did for me as well. So I get a lot out of it as well. It's as therapeutic for me as it is for the people that are on this table. So anyway, any massage therapists out there that are watching this, have you guys started seeing clients? And if so, like, what precautions are you taking? Are you wearing a mask? Are you only seeing regulars? Are you taking on new ones? Are you wearing gloves? I immediately did like, the hand sanitizing as soon as he left. I like sanitized everything and like jumped in the shower just to like better safe than sorry. But how are you guys handling it? If anyone actually is, or are you still not comfortable doing massages? Anyway, so that's my story. And, I just kind of felt like I wanted to share that because I kind of feel like we're all human and we're all like going through what we're going through. And, this is the new normalcy. And will it ever go back to where it was? I mean, yeah, I think at some point I'll do massages not wearing a mask. I don't know how long that's going to take though for me to get to that. I'm just appreciative of the fact that, the people that contact me, the regulars, and hopefully any new ones that I get, are all really cool with that, because otherwise I think I would probably tell them no. Just one little side thought, a friend of mine who's also a massage therapist, we were discussing this, and she was saying that she would only see clients if they wore a mask. And I get that. So when I said, well, yeah, I'm with you on that, but I like putting it on them and saying, how do you feel? And she was like, well, I'm not going to ask them that. I'm just going to tell them this is what it is. You have to wear a mask. And I get that too. But, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it's all about the delivery. And I kind of feel like, let me put it on them, because they're going to say yes anyway. You know, some of them were even like, oh my God, yes, that'd be great. So like, they get that as well. And frankly, if any of them ever said to me, well, no, I don't want to, then I would say, well, then this can't happen. So, all right, guys, thank you for listening. I feel like I'm at a therapy session. This is, you know, even doing these videos for me is therapeutic. And I'm hoping that, you know, my being so open and honest with my life and with what I do, you know, is helping anyone out there that's watching and might be in the similar situation that I'm in terms of like where my head is at with all of this. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bid you farewell. As always, thank you for being here with me and tuning in and giving me this opportunity to enter your homes and have this wonderful conversation. Till the next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, you know, wear your mask, wear your gloves, all that good stuff. Okay, bye guys, love you. Signing off, bye.